But it didn't unite them all because 10 Democrats voted to censure Green.
Wow. Do you want a list of the 10?
Do you want to hear their names?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Why go after them, too? Go after the Republicans.
Because they don't know how to fight and be part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights. This generation of Congress, they are not meeting the moment. This is an existential crisis.
And also, I might point out, some of them are from the most liberal states like New York, Hawaii, California.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay,
they should have all walked out with him.
Thank you, Newsbuster. They're willing to die? It's an existential crisis. They're willing to die. I don't know how much you need to hear. I don't know how many times you need to hear it. If Donald Trump had said regarding January 6th, now go to the Capitol and you fight for our liberty and our future, and you have to be willing to die for it. That would be insurrection-y kind of talk. You might very well agree with that. What would you say to this?
How to fight and be part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights.
So first, people are going to die because of what Trump is doing. And then people who fight Trump have to be willing to fight and die. And they knew what they were doing and it was worth it. With all due respect to anybody who wants to argue this with me, this is Sonny Hostin calling for violence. Let's say it differently, because you can go with that one. This is ABC calling for violence. Nope, wait, let's say it differently once again. This is Disney calling for violence against the president of the United States. This is a big giant mouse, this three-circled multi-trillion-dollar freak calling for violence against the president of the United States. Now, talk me off the ledge. Tell me how it's not. I'm all ears. Explain to me how it isn't. Shall we hear it again? Okay, we'll hear it again.
Part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights. This generation of Congress, they are not meeting the moment.
If you have to die, can I ask, Sonny Hostin, how that works? Let's walk down the path of what the lawyer, Sonny Hostin, had to say. Or do I call you Asuncion since you use the term Sonny as your name because you don't think Americans are capable of actually pronouncing your name? Your words, not mine. It's okay. You can call me Anthony or Tony. It's okay. I'm good with either one. They were willing to die, fight and die. So now I want to know, if you want Democrats and their supporters to be willing to fight and die, what do you mean? Fight how? Well, they have to vote against this stuff. No one is going to die in the vote against unless, of course, you get some kind of paper cut and bleed out. So that's not what you mean. It's not what you mean, Sonny Hostin. For the record, I am not a lawyer. I have absolutely no legal training whatsoever. Not an ounce. How come I can walk down this road? This very easy to understand road. You just said that people need to be willing to fight and die. So the question before us is, how should they fight, and how would that lead to their death? Clearly, you do not mean fight in a, well, we're going to disagree, well, we're going to hold a rally. You don't mean fight as some level of legal fight, Sonny Hostin, because no legal fight is going to leave anybody dead. So what do you mean that they're willing to fight and die? Waiting. You mean what you mean. This is ABC, Disney, The View, Sonny Hostin, and her cohorts on that set. Sans Whoopi Goldberg, because she's not there, calling for violence against the president of the United States and calling on Democrats to engage in acts of violence, and calling on those who support Democrats to engage in acts of violence. That's what's happening. If I said that as a radio host, I'd get fired. I'd be fired. I'd be dropped from stations. There is no debate. This is nothing different than Chris Murphy saying democracy will be over in 6 months and the Trump family will rule forever, and people may not even notice. His words. His words. I defy anybody to disagree with me on this subject. 833-468-8669. 833 got Tony. Go ahead. Go ahead. Disagree with me. I dare you. I just don't think you can. But I'm willing to discuss. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today.